So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have a look at non-tariff barriers in SADC and actually how these issues can possibly be addressed in the region. So traditionally, inefficient and ineffective infrastructure, a lack of industrialization, policy implementation and governance issues, and also a lack of enabling environments have mostly been identified as the factors that contribute to the low levels of intra-regional trade within sub-Saharan Africa. However, non-tariff barriers as well as trade facilitation issues and the effect of these on the cost of doing business in the region are becoming increasingly important for strategies to actually improve trade liberalization as well as development within the region. In SADC, non-tariff barriers contribute a significant portion to the high trade costs, and this is mostly due to high transportation costs due to SADC having the highest number of landlocked countries in Africa. However, there are numerous other barriers which also contribute to constraining intra-regional growth, intra-regional trade as well. And these can, for instance, be burdensome customs procedures, roadblocks, as well as delays at ports and weighbridges. In order to address these non-tariff barrier issues in SADC, the trade protocol was designed to ensure that the member states would actually take the necessary steps to reduce the existing non-tariff barriers on intra-SADC trade, and also to get them to refrain from implementing any new ones. This led to the SADC Secretariat implementing the SADC NTB monitoring mechanism, which has since been incorporated into the EAC COMESA SADC NTB reporting, monitoring and eliminating mechanism. However, although the SADC member states have actually agreed and committed to removing NTBs on intra-SADC trade, the tripartite online NTB mechanism showed that there are numerous complaints regarding barriers which is applicable to trade among SADC member states. Currently, out of the 84 active complaints on the system, 7 relate to intra-SADC trade, which has been reported by member states including Zimbabwe, Namibia and Botswana. And these complaints also specifically relate to inadequate trade-related infrastructure, costly road user charges and fees, as well as burdensome customs documentation and customs procedures as well. Also, out of these 84 complaints, 53 relate to trade among individual SADC member states. Now, this shows that although the SADC member states have committed to reduce non-tariff barriers, to actually try and abide by these commitments can often be quite challenging and complex. However, if the member states are successful in reducing the number of non-tariff barriers applicable to intra-SADC trade, it can actually facilitate and increase intra-regional trade, can assist with an increase in international exports, it can improve the business environment within SADC, and all of these can then contribute to fostering domestic as well as foreign investment, and it can also foster transparency in the region. However, to address the non-tariff barrier issue within SADC, there is a need for a comprehensive action plan that will not just address regional and international trade facilitation issues, but will also include other measures. For instance, trade promotion measures, closer regional cooperation and coordination, the harmonization of institutions, procedures, and documents, the removal of inefficient trade administrative procedures, creating transparency in documents, procedures, regulations, having effective and efficient capacity building programs and training in place, having an effective trade dispute settlement mechanism in place, and also creating effective enforcement and monitoring mechanisms. Such an action program would also need to incorporate national and regional general administrative and legal reforms. And it will also need to look at improving both soft and hard infrastructure within the region. For instance, looking at the rehabilitation of transport networks together with the improvement of information and communication networks, simplifying and harmonizing customs procedures, as well as encouraging the use of technology. Also, in designing this action program, the SADC member states must also take cognizance of the recently adopted WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement, where the assistance that is promised in this agreement in the areas of the importation and exportation of goods, as well as the improvement of transit traffic, can then actually serve as an additional anchor for the harmonization and the transparency efforts in SADC. However, for the SADC member states to fully benefit from this promised assistance under the Trade Facilitation Agreement, practical action plans will have to be designed and devised. That's not just based on the needs of the individual SADC member states, but also on the non-tariff barrier and the trade facilitation needs of the SADC region as a whole. Thank you.